Bronies have been shown in a pretty bad light in the past few years. Bronies are found all over the world, and as a result, many different news outlets have reported on them. So I thought, why don't we watch a few of those news stories?
I used to have a toy pony when I was 5. Maybe you did too.
Many girls in the 80s had a toy pony. It was like one of the main toys for girls, like how boys had Transformers.
It is a little weird and a little strange, but weird and strange doesn't necessarily have to mean bad.
That is true. Bronies are quite strange, but strange things are not bad things.
Ryan Waller is one of thousands of adults around the world who watch My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic.
Thousands? Really? That's a huge understatement. There are at least a few million even at that point in the Brony fandom.
So at this point, you're probably asking why.
The characters have a lot of depth, the voice acting is high quality.
That's not really a good way to say why you like the show. Do you know why? Because every Brony uses it. It has lost its meaning because this is the defense Bronies use when they retaliate against a hater.
Even Waller was skeptical at first.
Most people are skeptical at first. It's not exactly a very normal thing based on society.
The show spurred a frenzy of fan creativity. Artwork, clothing, toys, even rock versions of the pony music.
Well, at least they mentioned the more creative part of the fandom.
And he knows the stigma.
Old, fat, gay men that only watch the show.
The show was intended for a much younger female audience, and the stigma isn't true. For example, on this report from 2014, 65% of Bronies identified as purely straight, and almost 95% of Bronies said no to being transgender.
He says the stereotypes are not true. He says it's like girls playing with G.I. Joes.
Except G.I. Joe died in the 80s. Wait, there was a movie? In 2013? Well, I stand corrected.
Acceptable for me to like something like this, but then you go to a sporting event and people have, their bodies painted, they'll have their shirt off, but that's perfectly okay, that's acceptable everywhere.
The reason it is acceptable is because they fit into the social norm. When football, or soccer, was invented, no one did this, and when people started doing it, it probably looked very similar to what Bronies are. But as time went on, it was generally accepted, so maybe Bronies just have to wait and to be accepted just like radical sports fans.
Maybe next time you will take a second look and not judge the cover of the book.
My god, that was amazingly placed and relevant to the story at hand. Now let's hit closer to home with the BBC report on this. So let's begin.
It's colorful, it's joy.
If you can only hear voices or only music, don't worry, it's not your ears, it's the video. Two different types of audio come out of different headphones, which really confused me the first time when I didn't have my headphones fully on and could only hear music.
For some people it's the way of life.
Okay, no. People should not make MOP a way of life. It should only be a hobby or a show that you enjoy. Don't let it take over your life.
Real life scenarios and you can relate. That's the weird thing. You can relate to everything that happens in one way or another.
People can definitely relate to techno-coloured ponies that go on adventures like stopping a bug thing from taking over the kingdom. Truly relatable.
I've gone to conventions where people say they met their husband or wife through the show online. People who didn't really have friends at home have thousands of friends now.
I don't believe that for 1 second. A human can only sustain about 150 stable relationships, so 1,000 would be a little difficult to believe. I have no comment.
The extreme minority that actually be a bit malicious. The odd guys on the internet who are sort of like, hey, you watch My Little Pony, you're gay. And it's like, no. But it is very, very few. So it doesn't bother me in the slightest either way.
Maybe the vocal haters are the minority, but only if very few. That is bullshit.
We didn't set out to write it for these guys.
Well, duh. I don't think anyone writes a children's show for adults. So both of the reports were quite positive about the Brony fandom and even showing some of the more creative areas of it. However, the true reason I wanted to make this video was the comment section of these videos. Now the comments on the American report is way worse than the BBC, probably because it has more views. But these comments are so toxic that people who I asked were upset about them. Some of the comments are, hey look, it's a group of virgins, and quite effective actually, it's a good way to gather up all the upcoming pedophiles. This comment sums up the vocal minority's views on Bronies. For starters, saying that most are this way is stupid. Those people who non-Bronies judge all Bronies on are the extreme minority. Him also saying it isn't a phenomenon isn't true because it's both an anomaly and a phenomenon, as the definition of a phenomenon is a fact or situation that is observed to exist or happen, especially ones whose cause or explanation is in question. It's fucking started raining again. This user also replies to another user saying, it's not what they like, it's what they act like. There's nothing wrong with liking a show, it's the fact that they let it become a defining trait of their person. When they fill their house with MLP toys, they scribble pictures of ponies on their menus at restaurants, they berate their friends and family with MLP facts, etc. Especially when it's a grown man doing this and it's still a show for little girls. This is kinda true for a minority of the Brony fandom. True, some people make MLP a defining factor of their lives, which can cause problems. Bronies can collect MLP merch and scatter it among their homes and try to force their friends and family to watch the show. But most Bronies I know don't have MLP merch or parade it around their friends and family because they don't want to become an anomaly. I'm gonna leave you with probably one of the wisest people on the internet. All fandoms have a weird side to them. Bronies aren't any different. Thanks for watching. Castro signing out.